Romeo and Juliet is not killed by love, it is killed by violence.
Yes, people talk as if the feud is just background wallpaper behind a romance. It is not. Violence drives the plot from the first scene to the last.
So this is not balcony first, tragedy later.
No. The play opens with men in the street looking for a fight. Servants trade insults, draw swords, and the city is already unstable before Romeo and Juliet even meet.
That matters, because it tells you what kind of world this is.
Exactly. Verona is not a calm society, interrupted by private emotion. It is a city where public aggression keeps breaking into private life. The prince has already had enough. He says the violence must stop, which tells you it has happened before and will happen again.
So the first real engine of the tragedy is not romance. It is a system of retaliation.
Right. Honor, insult, masculinity, family loyalty, public reputation. Those pressures push people into choices they would not make in a safer world.
Give me the clearest example.
Tybalt at the Capulet party. He hears Romeo and wants violence immediately. Lord Capulet holds him back for the moment, but only for the moment. That matters, because Tybalt does not let things go. He carries the insult forward and turns it into a challenge.
And that challenge drags in Mercutio.
Yes, Mercutio is crucial because he treats conflict like sport until it becomes fatal. Romeo has secretly married Juliet, so he refuses Tybalt's duel. On the usual soft reading, Romeo is trying to be peaceful. True, but that peace has no room to work.
Because Mercutio reads Romeo's refusal as humiliation.
Exactly. In that street culture, refusing a fight does not settle anything. It can look weak. Mercutio steps in, fights Tybalt, and suddenly the play crosses a line it cannot uncross.
This is the scene people half remember as bad luck.
It is not just bad luck. Romeo steps between them, trying to stop it, and Tybalt kills Mercutio under Romeo's arm. That image matters. Even the attempt at peace becomes part of the mechanism of violence.
So violence does not just explode, it infects every choice around it.
Yes, and once Mercutio dies, the moral and emotional pressure on Romeo changes at once. His private identity as Juliet's husband is crushed by his public identity as Mercutio's friend.
Then comes the turning point. Romeo kills Tybalt.
And that is the hinge of the whole tragedy. Before that, there is still some chance, however narrow, that the marriage could lead somewhere. After that, calm solutions start collapsing.
Spell that out. What exactly does Tybalt's death destroy?
First, it gets Romeo banished. That means the marriage is instantly broken by law and distance. Second, it pushes Juliet into a crisis at home because her family now moves faster to marry her to Paris. Third, it hardens the conflict between private loyalty and public order. Nobody has room to think.
So one killing triggers a chain reaction.
Yes, and notice the speed. Mercutio dies, Tybalt dies, Romeo is banished, Juliet is pressed into another marriage. Friar Lawrence starts improvising risky plans. Violence creates urgency, and urgency produces worse decisions.
That point gets missed all the time. People talk about fate as if the plot just floats toward doom.
But the play keeps showing actions and consequences. Violence narrows the options. Once blood is spilled in public, the characters are not operating in a quiet emotional space. They are dealing with punishment, revenge, family pressure, and panic.
Even the adults lose control.
They never really had it. The prince can threaten death, but he cannot stop the street culture. Capulet can postpone Tybalt for one night, but not change what Tybalt is. The friar wants reconciliation, but after the killings, he is reduced to damage control.
Which means violence is not atmosphere, it is structure.
Exactly. It shapes character and plot at the same time. Tybalt lives by it. Mercutio jokes through it. Romeo tries to step around it, then gets pulled into it, and becomes one of its agents.
And Juliet pays for violence she did not choose.
Yes, her private love is forced into a public feud. Once Romeo kills Tybalt, her world is split open. Husband on one side, family on the other, and no safe space between them.
So, when people reduce the play to doomed romance, what are they missing?
They are missing the mechanism. The tragedy does not happen because love is intense. It happens because violence keeps overruling thought, patience, and negotiation.
And that changes how we read the ending.
It should. The deaths at the tomb are the final result of a world where every conflict is sharpened, rushed, and made public by violence. Romeo and Juliet do not die in a vacuum. They die in a city trained to answer pressure with blood.
That is the hard truth of the play.
Yes, in Romeo and Juliet, violence is not the backdrop to tragedy. Violence is the machine that makes the tragedy happen.